The year is 1918. The Great War, a conflict of unprecedented brutality, has finally ended. Amidst the ruins, the Nobel Committee announces its annual prizes. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry goes to the German scientist Fritz Haber, a controversial choice. Haber's work, both celebrated and condemned, has left an indelible mark on the world, a legacy we grapple with even today.
His discovery? A way to synthesize ammonia from atmospheric nitrogen?
A seemingly simple chemical reaction. But this breakthrough has had a profound impact on human history, enabling the mass production of fertilizers that sustain billions of lives. Yet the story of Fritz Haber is not one of unalloyed triumph. It's a tale of scientific brilliance intertwined with moral ambiguity, a stark reminder of the double-edged nature of discovery. To understand the significance of Haber's work, we must journey back to the late 19th century, a time of rapid change and scientific discovery. The world was on the brink of a Malthusian nightmare. Population growth was surging, outpacing food production. The limiting factor? Nitrogen, a crucial element for life. An essential nutrient for plant growth, nitrogen was in short supply.
Farmers relied on natural sources of nitrogen, like manure and guano, which were labor-intensive to collect and limited in quantity. Bird droppings harvested from remote islands provided a temporary solution, but it was not sustainable.
But these sources were finite, dwindling rapidly, and could not keep up with the growing demand. The world was running out of options, and the fear of food shortages was becoming a harsh reality. The specter of widespread famine loomed large, threatening the survival of millions. The solution, it seemed, lay in the air we breathe, literally. Scientists began to look towards the atmosphere for answers. Nitrogen comprises nearly 80% of the Earth's atmosphere, an abundant resource if it could be harnessed. However, atmospheric nitrogen exists as a diatomic molecule, two nitrogen atoms bound together. This triple bond is an incredibly stable configuration, making it difficult to break apart and use biologically. Unlocking this bond, making nitrogen available for biological use, was a scientific puzzle no one had solved, until Fritz Haber came along with his groundbreaking work. Fritz Haber, a brilliant chemist with an unwavering belief in the power of science, took on the challenge. He knew that nitrogen was the key to increasing food production and averting global catastrophe. Years of relentless research followed. Haber, along with his assistant Robert Le Rossignol, experimented with various catalysts and extreme conditions.
Finally, in 1909, a breakthrough.
Haber successfully synthesized ammonia from its constituent elements, nitrogen and hydrogen, using a high-pressure, high-temperature process with an iron catalyst. This seemingly simple equation, N2 plus 3H2 equals 2NH3, revolutionized agriculture and, in turn, the fate of humanity. Haber's groundbreaking discovery, later scaled up for industrial production by Carl Bosch, fundamentally changed the world in ways that were previously unimaginable. The Haber-Bosch process, as it came to be known, allowed for the synthesis of ammonia on an industrial scale, revolutionizing the chemical industry. Ammonia quickly became the primary precursor for synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, which were essential for modern agriculture. These fertilizers, rich in nitrogen, fueled a revolution in agricultural productivity. Crop yields soared to unprecedented levels, transforming the agricultural landscape. The specter of famine, which had haunted humanity for centuries, began to recede as food production increased. The Haber-Bosch process has been credited with sustaining billions of lives, making it one of the most significant scientific advancements in history. It's estimated that half the nitrogen found in human tissues today originated from the Haber-Bosch process, highlighting its profound impact on human biology. This is a testament to the enduring impact of Haber's work on human existence, a legacy that continues to shape our world. However, Haber's legacy, like the man himself, is a study in contrasts, marked by both triumph and controversy. While hailed as a savior for his role in averting a global food crisis, Haber's name is also etched in the dark annals of history for his involvement in chemical warfare during World War I. Section 5, The Shadow of War, Haber's descent into chemical warfare. The year is 1914. Europe explodes into war. World War I, a conflict characterized by unprecedented bloodshed.
As a staunch German patriot, I throw myself into the war effort, convinced that my scientific expertise can help Germany achieve swift victory.
Haber's lab transforms into a hub for developing chemical weapons. Chlorine gas, a deadly pulmonary agent, is his weapon of choice. Haber oversees its deployment on the battlefield, witnessing firsthand the horrific consequences.
Fritz, this is appalling. Your involvement in chemical warfare violates the fundamental principles of science. Please, you must stop.
Her pleas fall on deaf ears. Section 6. A Scientist's Dilemma. Morality in the Face of Nationalism. Haber, blinded by nationalistic fervor, believes he is serving a greater good.
I justify my actions by arguing that chemical weapons, though horrific, will ultimately shorten the war and save lives.
A belief shared by many at the time, including prominent scientists and intellectuals. However, Haber's actions raise profound ethical questions about the role of scientists in times of war, the potential for scientific discoveries to be used for destructive purposes, and the moral responsibility of researchers to consider the consequences of their work. The debate over Haber's legacy, his scientific contributions weighed against his wartime actions, continues to this day. A stark reminder of the complex interplay between science, ethics, and politics. Section 7. Personal Tragedy, The Price of Ambition. The war takes a heavy toll on Haber, both personally and professionally.
Distraught over his involvement in chemical warfare, I can't take it anymore. I shoot myself in the heart with his service revolver. A tragic end for a brilliant scientist who opposed the very weapon her husband championed.
Haber, consumed by his work, seemingly indifferent to his wife's pleas and her tragic death, presses on with his research. He continues to develop and deploy chemical weapons, earning him the moniker the father of chemical warfare. Section 8. The Dual Nature of Discovery, Haber's Complex Legacy. The war ends in 1918, leaving millions dead.
Once hailed as a national hero, I now face condemnation for my role in chemical warfare.
He's labeled a war criminal by the Allied powers.
Despite the controversy, Haber is awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the synthesis of ammonia from its elements, a decision that sparks outrage and protests.
The Nobel Committee defends its choice, arguing that Haber's scientific contributions transcend the horrors of war, that his work has had a transformative impact on humanity.
Haber, forever marked by the war and his wife's death, continues his research in Germany. Section 9. Science and Ethics, Uncomfortable Truths. Haber's story is a stark reminder of the dual nature of scientific discovery. His work on nitrogen fixation, driven by a desire to alleviate human suffering, has saved billions from starvation. Yet his wartime activities, fueled by misguided patriotism, unleashed unprecedented suffering on the battlefields of Europe. The story of Fritz Haber serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that scientific progress does not occur in a vacuum. It is inextricably linked to the social, political, and ethical contexts of its time. Section 10. The Haber-Bosch Process Today. Feeding billions, fueling concerns. Today, the Haber-Bosch process continues to be a cornerstone of modern agriculture, sustaining billions of lives. It's estimated that the process consumes about 1 to 2% of the world's energy output and is responsible for 1 to 2% of global greenhouse gas emissions. While the Haber-Bosch process has undoubtedly been a boon to humanity, its long-term sustainability is a growing concern. Researchers around the world are exploring alternative, more sustainable methods for nitrogen fixation. Section 11. Conclusion, a legacy forged in innovation and tragedy. Fritz Haber's life and work stand as a testament to the complex and often contradictory nature of scientific progress. His contributions to chemistry, particularly the Haber-Bosch process, revolutionized agriculture and saved countless lives by enabling mass production of fertilizers.
I was a man of contradictions, a pioneer in my field, a brilliant scientist driven by a desire to improve the human condition, to feed the hungry and advance human knowledge, yet blinded by nationalistic zeal, caught up in the fervor of my times, and willing to unleash horrific weapons of war, believing it was for the greater good of my nation.
His legacy, forever entwined with both life-giving innovation and devastating destruction, serves as a compelling case study in the ethical complexities of scientific discovery. The duality of his achievements forces us to reflect on the moral responsibilities that come with scientific power. The story of Fritz Haber is not merely a historical footnote. It is a profound narrative that continues to resonate today, urging us to confront the ethical dimensions of scientific research and the potential consequences of our innovations. The responsibility of scientists to ensure that their discoveries are used for the betterment of humanity, not its destruction, remains as relevant as ever. Haber's life is a stark reminder of the fine line between creation and destruction.